We begin this morning with a major development in President-elect Donald Trump's choice for Secretary of Defense. Multiple sources telling CBS News that Trump is now considering replacing former Fox News host Pete Hegseth with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis as his pick to lead the department. Now, as you'll recall, Hegseth's nomination has been under major scrutiny. He's facing allegations of sexual misconduct and alcohol abuse. His attorney says he denies those allegations. But listen to what some Republican senators are saying.
Some of these articles are very disturbing. He, obviously has a chance to defend himself here, but, some of this stuff is going to be difficult.
I would just urge my Republican colleagues who are very worried. I know a number of them are expressing public concern. It's fine. But I would just urge them before they make up their minds, let him have his hearing and listen to him under oath. I mean, let's go through the process here and give him a shot to answer this and more.
These allegations that have come up just in the last 12 to 14 hours are a surprise to all of us. And so, yes, he does need to address those because this was not something of which we were aware, nor was President Trump aware.
Yesterday, while on the Hill, Nicole Killian asked Hegseth about his meetings with senators, which are scheduled to continue today.
What is your message to senators while you're here?
I welcome their advice, and it's always great to have an opportunity to talk to them about how they want to make sure our military is strong and ready.
For more on this, let's bring in CBS News political reporter Jake Rosen. You see him there joining us from West Palm Beach, Florida. Jake, talk to us about this moment and why Trump may be considering Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for this top post at the Pentagon.
Well, Arrow, good morning. We've seen this trickle of stories over the last couple of weeks about Pete Hegseth, whether it's workplace misconduct, whether it's sexual harassment, whether it's that email from his mother kind of denouncing his past engagements with women. It seems like the stories about him have certainly grown over the last couple of days, not a lot of which were known by the Trump campaign, at least outwardly in terms of these sexual misconduct and assault allegations. And we've really seen this push from senators, like you just heard there, to be hesitant and tepid in their embrace of Hegseth on Capitol Hill during these meetings. CBS News can report that 4 senators, if a vote were held today, would likely vote no or not support Hegseth. The Republicans can only lose 3 votes in order for J.D. Vance to tie-break that. So really, it looks like right now they're really on a kind of watershed moment where they need to either decide to stick with Hegseth and commit to hearings or switch to DeSantis, which, as our CBS News colleagues confirmed last night, he is certainly in consideration for that role.
And it's not the only choice Trump may have to change. The pick to lead the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, has also withdrawn his name from consideration. What's happening there?
And that's right. He's Hillsborough County, Florida, right behind us here, a little bit up the road. He is a sheriff, and he has been a very vocal advocate for things like stopping fentanyl from flowing over the U.S. southern border, from stopping drug dealers in local communities. He announced yesterday that he is going to withdraw his name from consideration because he said that he had more work to do as Hillsborough County, Florida sheriff. Now, again, another surprise, and the second person, even though Hegseth has not withdrawn his name, but you'll remember just a couple of weeks ago, Matt Gaetz withdrew his name. So 2 very high-profile picks, especially on things like the Department of Justice and drug enforcement. Those 2 people are out. We have to remember that Trump will now have to replace him again and go through this whole process again with yet another DEA nominee.
And before we let you go, Jake, quickly, the Trump transition team did sign an agreement to allow FBI background checks on potential cabinet nominees. Why is that significant?
Well, this is one of the last holdups that we've really seen on an official presidential transition. Last week, the Trump campaign and Trump transition signed an agreement with the White House to start to hand over and have meetings at high-ranking cabinet-level positions between people like HHS secretaries in the Biden administration and someone like Robert F. Kennedy, for example. Now, in terms of what happens now after this memorandum was signed is that the FBI can officially go and background check these people. It wasn't an absolute necessity going into January 20th, 2021 when Donald Trump, or 2025, 2025 when Donald Trump takes over, but it is something that really they had to commit to in order to kind of fit these norms. We talk about transition and a day one effective transition of power. It's something that they had to do, and there's a lot of DOJ and FBI skeptics in this new Trump White House as well, but something that they really leaned on in this transition process. They eventually did, though, as we saw yesterday, commit to signing that and going through with these background checks.
All right, Jake Rosen giving us the latest on the Trump transition. Thanks so much.